Today we're reading stories from r/Am I the Jerk? Not the real title of the subreddit, but you know how YouTube is. Am I the jerk for cutting up and altering my wedding dress into a functional dress instead of giving it to my sister, who can't afford an expensive dress? I need an unbiased opinion on this because I don't know if I was the jerk. Throwaway, because I am active in other communities and I don't want this to mix. So I was supposed to get married 2 months ago to my ex-partner of 5 years. Sadly, we broke it off because he cheated on me at his bachelor party with a stripper. I had this beautiful dress that cost me around $2,000 out of my pocket. I had been very depressed since everything that happened because I felt it was somehow my fault for not being sexy enough or not giving him what he wanted. So last weekend, I decided to take my power back and I began altering the dress. I have been sewing for 15 plus years, so I know what I'm doing. I cut it a bit, changed the color to something less wedding-y, and after a week of work, I had a beautiful gown that I could use for more stuff. The problem comes now. I uploaded that picture of the dress to Instagram with a caption that said something along the lines of, "You can change the worst memories," or some crap like that. My sister hits me up and asks me if that was my old wedding dress, and I told her yes. She then called me and asked me why I had done this. I asked her why it was such a big deal, and she told me that I could have waited till after her wedding. I was so confused. Then she reminded me that when we were staying at the hotel where my wedding was supposed to happen, my mom and sister were there cheering me up, and my sister said something along the lines of, "Oh, well, if you're not using it, I will." We all laughed, so I thought it was a joke because it was never brought up again after. She just asked me once what material it was, so I assumed she wanted something similar. Now my sister is mad at me, and my mom says she understands both our point of views, but that I could have waited 5 more months till after her wedding to take my power back. Am I the jerk? Edit. Yes, he effed the stripper. Please stop asking me. Edit 2. What is wrong with some of you? Suddenly, I'm the jerk for leaving my ex for cheating on me because it doesn't count because it was his bachelor party? Do you even know how relationships work? Are you also going to tell me that if he cheated on a Saturday it wouldn't count? Or if he left the country? This is hilarious coming from a sub that says cheaters are the worst people in this world. Cheating is cheating, period. Alright, not even touching on the people that say that cheating doesn't count, because it absolutely does. I'm gonna say OP's not the jerk here. Even if the sister had outright asked directly to use the wedding dress, it still wouldn't have been okay to ask that while OP was at her lowest. And then she didn't even technically ask. She made a passing comment that everyone laughed at because they thought it was a joke and barely brought it up after that. Still was never direct about it. No, I'm sorry, you're not the jerk. Your sister needs to learn to be more direct and also to take other people's feelings into consideration. It's not your job to provide her with an expensive wedding dress because she can't afford one. All right, and along the same vein of sisters being crazy about weddings, would I be the jerk for canceling my sister's wedding because it was my wedding first? Is anyone else getting flashbacks to Phyllis's wedding on The Office? I was meant to get married on the 1st of February, which was mine and my ex-fiance's anniversary. We ended the engagement shortly after the new year because he cheated on me. The wedding was initially planned with just my money, but was very low-key, and my parents asked if they could put up some additional money to make the whole thing a bit bigger. By the end, about 60% of the wedding was paid for by me, and 40% my parents' contribution. My ex and I had agreed that I would pay for the wedding while he covered the honeymoon. My ex left me to deal with canceling the wedding as his money wasn't involved. And I turned to my mother and sister for help because I didn't have the mental or emotional capacity to call vendors and venues and whatever else and cancel everything. My sister is engaged and helped me with a lot of the wedding planning. Next thing I know, my mother and sister are asking me if I wouldn't mind my sister just taking my wedding. Every part of it, from the venue to the cake and everything in between. The sole difference will be the wedding dress. And even then, she said if she can't buy off the rack, she might have to get mine tailored to fit her instead. I called off my engagement less than 3 weeks ago. I'm an effing mess. I reached out to my family to help me cancel the wedding, and my sister is planning to take it over instead. My sister has rung round our family explaining that she's taking over before she told me this. They are all attending. Her fiance has contacted his family and given them the date he will be getting married. I found all this out today. She asked me if I was okay with this, like she hadn't already arranged everything. I told her to go screw herself. I have until the end of the 23rd to cancel things and get the money back. There's a couple of things where I won't be able to get the money back at this stage, but over 2/3 of it is still refundable. Money will be refunded to the card it was paid by, so both me and my parents will get the correct amounts back. Everything is shut right now, but it's the 21st tomorrow. As I've not been in contact with these companies and it's my name on all the contracts, I have full power over this wedding. My sister said she'd pay me back eventually, but knowing her, I'll never see that money again. Would I be the jerk if I rung around everything and canceled? Honestly, OP, no. No, you wouldn't be, and I sort of think you should. Here's the thing, and this one gets hard for me, because I'm the kind of person that is such a pushover when it comes to my family. It's so easy for them to take advantage of me because I like to help them. But it's one thing if you would have canceled your wedding and realized all of this was already scheduled and paid for, and known your sister didn't have money for a wedding, and offered it to her as a wedding gift, and a completely different thing if she just does this all without asking you and puts you in this position. And that's sort of the other thing. She didn't even ask you and then do it, which still would have been rude and still would have made her a jerk. She told everyone, and she had her fiance tell everyone. So she has set you up to be in a position where you look like the bad guy, and that's not okay. I absolutely think you should cancel things because this is very toxic behavior. All right, at this point, we have a theme, so why not stick with it? Am I the jerk for canceling my wedding? Throw away, cause you just never know. Sorry, it's long. I've been losing sleep for days and basically need to know if I'm the jerk once and for all. Thank you in advance. So my boyfriend and I got engaged over the holidays, which is a big deal for me because I've waited a long time hoping it would happen. We've been together for years. Would like to add, neither of our families are very religious. Since day one, I've made a statement on when I wanted my wedding and the reasons behind it. Flowers, location, and time. Everyone who asked me if we made plans yet was specially told when, because that's all I knew. It was planned 1.5 years out. Now, another friend of mine is getting married this year. Even though I'm not in the wedding party, I was still asked to go to events with the bride. This was another reason why I planned it 1.5 years out, because I didn't want to be rude or stress or cram planning mine while everything with hers is going on. My boyfriend's brother got engaged around the same time. Over the holidays, I told his whole family when I was planning our wedding before his brother even asked. Now, here's where I lose it. We're all fairly close, and I just found out his brother's fiance planned the whole wedding 2 to 3 weeks before I was planning mine. I know, I sound like a spoiled brat, but there's no way in my head I see it working for us to have a wedding. Half of our wedding party would be in their wedding. I don't see how anyone can afford to do all the things that go into the wedding, plus pay for both so close together. Each person for our wedding is easy 500 plus. I don't have many close friends and would leave us with 2 people, maybe 1 for each of us in our wedding party, which isn't fun and not what either of us wanted. Plus, how will we be able to be in theirs when we have our own wedding and vice versa? What about out-of-town family? They're going to leave and turn around and come back? I don't see that happening with everyone's work schedules. No one wants a double wedding either. Everyone is telling me to compromise and move it to a different month, which I don't want to do for my reasons, or the next year, even my fiance. If I have to push it back a year, there is no point. The wedding isn't the point. The stupid piece of paper of legal binding is. In my eyes, if I can't have the wedding I want, I just don't see the point. Get the marriage license, not have anyone there, and be done. I don't really care if it hurts anyone's feelings because no one cares about mine. I don't want to bring it up to anyone because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, but I'm beyond hurt. I get comments from people, it's about time, and I'm over it. I can't sleep or eat because I'm so upset. I canceled everything I was planning for the wedding and threw everything away. I told my parents I wasn't having a wedding and they said they're fine with whatever I want to do, but Am I the jerk for canceling my wedding? Edit. My fiance was the one that recommended moving it back a year. He told me he understood where I was coming from and that he was sorry. We're still getting married, just not having a big wedding. He did suggest a destination wedding, just us. We haven't ruled this out, but it would be just us. Alright, here's the thing. On this one, I'm calling almost everyone's the jerk. You're the jerk because you seem to have forgotten the wedding isn't just about you. There's another person involved in that relationship, and your entire rant doesn't seem to include your fiance's feelings at all. All of your family that are saying you should adjust your time frame but haven't suggested that to the people who planned their wedding after yours, also jerks. The fact that you're planning a wedding that has to cost $500 per person and everyone has to be there, or there's no wedding at all and there's no compromise involved, makes you a jerk. The fact that when you didn't get your way, you canceled everything and threw away everything in a giant tantrum makes you a jerk. Your fiance's brother and his fiance, they're jerks for getting engaged and then planning a wedding right before yours. But here's the thing. They may have also been planning a wedding and wanted it at that time for very specific reasons, just like you. The world doesn't revolve around you and your wedding. It just doesn't. And you need to take other people and other people's feelings into consideration. Everyone here is kind of a jerk, except maybe your fiance, who just seems like he's trying to compromise to make everyone happy, and you're throwing a tantrum. Alright, that's all the wedding-related drama I can find on this sub right now, so that's where we're going to end this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to see more videos like this. Bye.